Hello everyone, David Nicholas here, Future Voice of America. We are with Daniel Hannan, Member of Parliament. We're going to ask him a couple of questions. We appreciate your time today. Great. Your book, The New Road to Surfing, goes into warnings about America. Just want to hear you articulate, what is the warning that you would give right now at the current state that we're at to our country?
Don't repeat our mistakes, right? You don't need to tap the barometer when you can look out of the window. Europe is a grisly image of your future, or at least the future towards which your present rulers are intent on taking you. You don't have to do it, right? Take it from me. I've been working in the European Parliament for 12 years. You're going to hate it, right? There's still time to turn aside, and stick to the principles on which the Republic was founded. Small government, limited power, constraint of those in office. Make your rulers remember that they're not rulers but representatives.
When did England start to go down the wrong course, and do you see similarities between England and America today?
Look, all democracies started to do things wrong early in the 20th century. You started doing things wrong under the first Roosevelt with the rise of executive power and so on. We started making mistakes around about that time. The big difference, the big divergence started with the Second World War. We were in it for a long time, and the government seized powers on a supposedly contingent basis, which it then was in no hurry to give back when the peace came back. And so a lot of the socialist apparatus that we've still got, the nationalized healthcare, the nationalized education, the social security system, basically was a wartime reaction. It couldn't have happened except in a climate of full mobilization. But the real travesty began when we joined the European Union. That was when we lost our democracy. And until, there's a lot of things that we can do to get back on our feet, but none of them is possible until we've got the power back from Brussels in the first place.
Interesting. We're fighting currently a nationalized healthcare system in our country. You guys have the HHS. Is that something that you would import to the United States, or is it something you'd say, no, absolutely not?
I would not import it if I were an American. I mean, look, it's not the worst system in the world, but if you look at most of the comparable indicators, if you look at the metrics that you can do a like-with-like comparison, how long until you get treated, what are your survival rates if you've got cancer or if you've got stroke or heart disease, we are, we're not the worst, but we are well down in the leagues, right? We're behind Spain, behind Slovenia, behind a lot of countries that you would not expect to be behind, yeah? And that is not because of some failing of the people in the system. On the contrary, the healthcare system attracts really very selfless, very committed employees. The problem is that the structure does not maximize their contribution. We have more managers than we have beds. We have you don't need me to tell you this. Governments don't run things very well. They weren't very good at building aeroplanes. They weren't very good at building cars. They weren't very good at installing telephones. They're not very good.
And last question, I appreciate it. When you look at America from the outside looking in, what do you love best about our country? And maybe one or two things that you say, that is American, that is what I love, and that is what you cherish most.
It's the optimism, the artlessness, the energy, the feeling that anything is possible. And that comes from the structures, from the institutions, from what happened in the old courthouse in Philadelphia. There's nothing magical about the soil or the water or the sky here, right? If you change your system of government, if you become less free, less dispersed, if you go down this road towards more regulation, more federal czars, more power for the executive, you see how very quickly Americans start behaving like Frenchmen and protesting as a divine right every social entitlement that they've got.
Absolutely. Daniel, thanks for your time. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.